The Random Show. Inside knowledge of TV, pop culture, and game shows. With your host, executive producer of Let's Make a Deal and The Price is Right, Mike Richards. Joined by the shortest moral compass on podcasts, Beth Triffin. And now, The Random Show.
Okay, great. Welcome to The Random Show. I'm Mike Richards. Who's that sitting right over there?
I don't know.
Her name is Beth Triffin. She's an actress. She's a producer.
Yeah.
She is unemployed. She's everything. But yet employed.
Yes.
But
well,
not.
I'm artistically employed.
Which means poor. A great random show today, as they all are, Beth. We're going to talk to Jorge Lopez, who is one of the two people who has won the Super Deal on a television show called Let's Make a Deal. And the Super Deal, which I know you know what it is, Beth.
I know
of
it
all
is.
people,
I do.
You know what it is. It's when someone, it's a stunt that we do a couple times a season, and someone gives up the big deal of the day.
That
so
means
they
they've
win,
already
so
won
they've
the
won
big
the big
deal.
deal, and then they have to give up the big deal and risk it to go for the Super Deal, which is worth. What would you say? $200 you would do that for? $50,000, Beth, is what they give up
That's
to do
amazing.
that. It's
I would
amazing.
not do it.
And then, if they get it, they get the big deal and the Super Deal, and that is what happened to Jorge Lopez.
That's
it's
amazing.
A 1 in 3 chance and a life-changing amount of money. So dying to know what Jorge has done with the money.
I'm dying to know what his thought process was. Like, did he really was comfortable with giving up that amount of money? Like, woo.
Woo!
Woo.
Woo!
Woo.
And, you know, what's he done with the money? Has he blown it on the ponies? I don't know.
That's why we're going to call him.
I don't know. Then our new segment, which I'm very excited about, which is called The Beth Story Ever Told.
Woo! I'm so
put
glad I have a segment named after me. This is so exciting.
Yes, producer Jen Bisgrove and I were talking this morning, and we've been Beth always comes in with a story every time, and they're usually beyond belief. And they're hysterical, and nothing makes Jen Bisgrove laugh harder than Beth's story. So now she has her own story called The Beth Story Ever Told, and it's a story we've been trying to fit into the podcast for the past few times.
Never enough time.
Never enough time for little Beth because she is quite small. But we're going to wedge her in there, and it's about you being accosted by reality show producers.
Yep. Hidden camera show.
And I don't want to over-tease it, but there was cussing from the lips of Beth Triffin.
Which I never do.
She doesn't eat meat, and she doesn't cuss unless it's financially beneficial.
Right.
Okay. Then we're going to respond to a tweet that I got, which was on The Price is Right, which is too many couples specials. Which
I totally agree.
Do you really? Well, this will be good.
I'm sick of them.
Are you really?
Yeah, I'm not that into it. So you're a couple. So is everyone. No one cares.
Well, no, but a couple show is there's the engaged couples.
Yeah.
So that's one. Mm-hmm. And then there's Valentine's Day. And I think that's it for the couples. But then there's siblings we've had on. We have Mother's Day, mother and her kid. I know you hate parents and their kids. Father's Day, and I know you don't like your dad. Grandparents' Day, hate your grandparents. And then kids, and you don't have kids, so who cares? And then a graduation special.
I'm
then
just
I
alone.
know that we also have we did one for the 4th of July, which was military personnel, and then they could bring on a member of their family. And I know you hate America and the military.
That's right.
So, but will not eat meat.
I don't like your America.
Not my America. Not the capitalist America.
I like my America.
Not the upwardly mobile America. You like the let's dole it all out to everybody. But let's not get into politics,
okay,
Beth.
No.
Let's start with now. You know that Price is Right. One of the shows it competes against is The View.
I know. I'm very excited to hear what you think about this.
So Jenny McCarthy just announced that she will be joining the ladies of The View.
Ooh.
So here's who's still on the show.
Yeah, let's
because
talk
they're
about
dropping
that,
like
I got
flies.
confused.
Elizabeth Hasselbeck, who I know you're a huge fan of.
Yeah.
All the way back to the Survivor days, is leaving and going to Fox Morning News.
Of course she is.
Because why not? She's the Pied Piper of that world.
I'm sad that Joy's leaving.
You cannot. And then Joy Behar is leaving at the end of the summer, and then Barbara Walters is like Jay-Z. She's announced she's retiring, but she's really not. And when she comes back to wear the 4-5. It's not to play games with you. It's to aim at you. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Wouldn't it be amazing if Barbara Walters wore a Michael Jordan 45 jersey?
Yes.
Like in her last episode, she's like, am I coming back? I don't know.
You don't know.
But so she's leaving at the end of this season. So here's who's still on the show, as far as my math is, and that is Whoopi Goldberg, who is still, I guess, a viable talent on television, and then Sherry Shepherd, who is actually a wonderful woman, like who I love. I really do like her. And now Jenny McCarthy, Joy Behar, done at the end of the summer, and then Barbara Walters done in a season.
So they have to get a fourth person.
So they've got to do something that I think is near impossible, and that's replace Joy Behar.
I know.
I mean, where would you find someone who is that not funny? I mean, that is not who, but thinks that they're funny.
God, for some
reason,
and
you know
Joy
who
Behar
I was thinking
does
of?
Not bother me.
You know who I was thinking of? Who's that same level? Joan Rivers.
Oh,
I think, and she could fill two roles for them: the old person who's had a lot of plastic surgery. And then also the not funny person that's supposed to be funny. But like, I'm going to make a quip.
But
exactly. But everybody loves her. Exactly.
I have a ton of respect for Joan Rivers.
You see, I don't. And because she screwed Johnny Carson and you don't screw the king.
I didn't know that.
So she was
she used to fill in for him all the time,
She used to fill in for him. And then Fox offered her a show. Competing with Johnny. She never called him, never said anything to him, and then announced it, and that's how he found out. And he never spoke to her again. Why? Because he was Johnny frickin' Carson. And that was him driving off on his motorcycle to heaven.
That was him being like,
that's where he lives.
You.
He's in heaven on a giant, I don't know if you could hear it listening to the podcast, but a giant motorcycle just left and went by, and it was very loud. No, Johnny Carson's up on his super yacht in the sky. He had a yacht called the Serengeti because he was fascinated with Africa.
What Joan Rivers thinks about that decision she made, if she regrets that or not. I mean, it kind of totally changed her career.
It did. I can't say that I think that the decision was wrong, because if someone gives you a show and says, hey, we're going to give you, I think I said that wrong. I'm not sure it was Fox, because I don't even know if Fox existed. Jen Bisgrove. We have to look that up. She's leaping to it right now.
She is.
But I think that the decision wasn't terrible, but the way she handled it was. And when somebody gives you a break, and I've had a lot of people give me breaks, and I've given a lot of people breaks, and nothing pisses you off more than when you've helped someone risk part of your career, part of your and Carson's way, his legacy, by having someone. It was Fox.
Oh, good job.
There you go. Like a
TV history.
Like a steel trap.
Brand new.
Then and that irritates you. And when it's not handled well, she would never have gotten that shot had he not given her that shot.
Well, I mean, the thing is she probably should have. I mean, he would be happy for her. If he's giving her breaks, don't you think if she got good news, he would be happy for her?
I'm not sure. Well, I'm not sure Johnny would ever be happy for anyone. But I will say that I think if she'd handled it well,
it could have gone better.
It could have gone better, as opposed to he heard it from a press conference when she's there going, "I'm going to kick Johnny's ass," and whatever. But anyway, we've strayed far from The View, because we're talking about talent, and now we're talking about The View. So Jenny McCarthy is someone I've always been a huge fan of. She hosted a show for me, an award show called the DVD Awards on FX, which was almost like this direct to microfiche awards. It was very, very well received and an amazing telecast. But she was great to work with, super talented, nice to everybody, which is how I judge people, because she's been famous for a long time.
When she was on Price, and she was really nice.
Yep, and then she
brought
came
her mom,
years later.
Yeah, and everything, and they were adorable.
Yep.
I really liked her.
Now there's an interesting kind of outcry with the booking, because Jenny McCarthy, and we know this from research that we've done, and it's just out there, that Jenny McCarthy does not tend to go over well with women,
right? But
men like her, obviously. Because I felt so bad for her. I was reading the press release on it, and then the reporters fill in the rest of it, and her title was Playmate of the Year. Like, here's a lady who's written multiple books, starred in TV shows, taken on medical issues, like the whole thing.
She still can't shed that
title. She shed her clothes, and now she can't shed the titles. Okay, so so the reason that this is, I think, an interesting move is, A, it doesn't skew well with women, but B, that the books she's written about whether kids should get
vaccines,
immunizations and vaccines, which is a hot topic, especially if you're a parent, and that's not for this podcast, because I can get into
I don't know anything about that.
Because you don't like kids or America.
Gosh darn it.
Or your grandparents or your parents.
I love them all, especially my parents.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Promise.
Then why don't you watch that show? Why don't you like? But so anyway, I think and so that has even put her kind of on the fringes, which is, I think kind of an interesting place for her to be in, and has also made her. I mean, it was a discussion we had when she came on Price. Would we want, would that push people away, or was that baggage that she was carrying around? Ultimately, we made the decision, hey, she's a great advocate for what she believes in, and that's I believe, I can't remember what charity she was here for, because she was on the Celebrity Charity Week shows, and she raised money for him. So she was fantastic, to your point.
Yeah,
on
she was
Price.
really lovely,
so fun, so excited for people. She was like a kid here,
so
which
kind
was really
to
cool.
the crew and everyone.
Yeah,
Just a very kind person.
You learn a lot about people when the camera goes off and how they act to the people that are miking them, or to the stage managers, or to the camera guys. Like, if it's you learn a ton.
Yeah, I always liked how she has a really cute, like, going back and forth thing with her mom. She brings her mom, like, everywhere. She brought her mom to Price. She, like, brought up the, kind of when she had to hide Playboy from her parents and all that kind of stuff. And even on one of the press releases I read the other day, she said something like, now my mom, like, has to be, like, now I'm finally showing my mom that my interrupting skills, like, go to a good thing. Or
I read that
like
same
that.
thing.
And I was like, oh, it's so cute. I really like her. I think she's awesome.
I wonder whether, because Elizabeth Hasselbeck, I don't think was the most well-liked person on The View, but I don't know. I never looked at the breakdown or how that went, but I wonder if they're bringing Jenny McCarthy in that role.
Yeah, I think to be like a volatile point, you know what I mean?
But I don't know that Jenny McCarthy's politics will be that volatile, and that's what made Elizabeth Hasselbeck such a lightning rod, because she was
the
very
only conservative in that whole entire group. Yeah.
So it'll be interesting. But I wondered, at first I thought it was such a weird move, and then I thought, I wonder if she's supposed to be the lightning rod. So that'll be interesting. Or maybe they're going to hire.
She's definitely outspoken.
She is, and funny and smart. So that'll be very interesting.
That'll be interesting to see, because Price competes with The View.
Well,
so
I mean, we're on at the same time. If you look at the ratings, it's not like we're really competing.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying? But that'll be interesting to see if it does anything. Do you think it'll do anything? In the beginning. I feel like always when they make a change in the beginning, there's something. You know?
But they're doing it here pretty soon, I think.
Okay.
And so it'll be, I think she comes on over the summer. So any impact it would have would be now.
I have a question for you. So when you take on things like, competing with The View, like you have a show that's very like true to format, but you can only do so many creative things, which I think have really pushed the envelope on that. But how is it to compete with a show that also is very like dependent on like what's going on in the world,
Well, this was the first year, so it's tough because price is price and deal is deal. Although deal is less deal than price is price because it doesn't have a format.
Right.
But price is an interesting thing because you don't want to lose what it is. Its charm, its fun, its joy, all of the the great games, all the things that it is. And it's hard to sit back and watch The View, which in the first Obama election really beat us up bad, like in the ratings. And this time we decided to be very aggressive with how we program the show with specials and different things because we had to make a decision. And it was like in June of last year, are we going to kind of roll over and concede? Not that we really ever concede. Just do normal great Prices Rights. Or are we going to do things to try to get press, to try to keep interest in it, to try to show that we're out there and remind people that we're out there, that if in case you're sick of hearing about politics, in case you're sick of this election and you don't want to watch The View, which they're kind of stuck having to talk about. Right. How do you not if you've got a daily show like that? We wanted to be that alternative. And so we made the decision to really hammer September and October and early November and not concede it. And it worked. It was very highly rated for us. The View did not do well, and usually in any kind of election season, that's its bread and butter. It's done really well. So that was kind of nice because we ended up really, really holding on and then growing our audience the entire season. I think that started it in the right direction.
And it's really insane that almost you have to pay attention to what's going on in the world just to deal with that sort of competition.
Well, I read a book by Brandon Tartikoff, who was this super young Svengali president of NBC years ago, and I think he was 32. Check it, Jen Bisgrove. I mean, he was like 32 years old when he took over, and he's kind of must-see TV. So Cheers and all that. Like he was insane, and he wrote, and this is before the interweb, that if to all of his managers and all of his people, that if you can't list the top 10 books, fiction, nonfiction, if you can't be conversant in them, if you can't be conversant in pop culture, music, celebrities, stuff that maybe you don't care about, like MTV shows and stuff like that, that isn't in your normal life as a 30-something-year-old, then how do you program television? So you can't ignore 32. I am 2 for 2. Yeah, let's
more TV trivia right now.
Should we stop the podcast right now? But anyway, so I thought that was a really interesting thing. Well, and that's what the Buzz Report is that Beth knows so well and Jen Bisgrove loves so much, which is kind of a weekly or bi-weekly report on the top music, the top books. I try to read 1 or 2 of them, not every week, but what? I'm reading Lean In. No, I really want to read Lean In. Can you get a microphone so you don't just?
She wants to be on the podcast, but then she just doesn't want to.
And
be
she's fantastic, and the fans love her.
I have a fan. Do you?
It's me.
Oh, no, I'm a fan.
I'm a huge Bisgrove fan. But so yeah, and even now we put that music for me on my. What's that thing called? My iPhone. And so I listen to it when I'm working out or whatever, so I stay current with the music, because when you're my age, 117, you don't naturally listen to that music. You're not in a bar or a club. You don't listen to that kind of radio. So you need to stay current with it. And so that is I get on other producers on this show, other shows that I work on, that are unaware, and they think it's cool that they're unaware of what's happening. And it's like, no. People go, I don't like politics. Well, too bad. You need to know about politics, because that's going to shape how you're going to do your show. Yeah. And too bad if you don't like Honey Boo Boo, but in a way, that's going to shape how you do your show, or what you don't do on your show. Right. What you want to avoid. You don't even want to be in the same sentence as them if your Price is Right or Let's Make a Deal. Yeah,
of course. Yeah.
So I think now we're going to talk about Lindsay Lohan and going on OWN. And so she's got her own show. So she's going to do, because she's going to come out of rehab. And I just want to touch on this really quick, because I saw that Dina, her mom, is on board. Oh, gosh. And she said, what could be better than having Oprah as a mentor? And I wanted to be like, sweet Dina, who's a horrible mom, allegedly. Oprah isn't going to be your daughter's mentor. She's trying to save her network. Yeah. Yeah, she's trying to get to the $2 billion. Oh, mark. My God. Can you imagine? I don't think that there's anything better for your rehab and for really putting your life straight than being on a reality show.
One of my roommates said something really, I thought, harsh this weekend, but she was so upset about the guy from Glee who passed away.
That was very upsetting.
It was very upsetting. It was just like
Corey Monteith.
Yeah, Corey Monteith, and she was so bummed about it. And she was like, "I don't understand why Corey Monteith is dead and Lindsay Lohan is still about to get a show. That is just so. It's so unfortunate."
Not to bring you down, but you look up what Dot Marie Jones, who was his co-star, who won an Emmy and was on The Pyramid. Mm-hmm. She tweeted something really nice about him, and maybe Jen Bisgrove, I don't know if you'll be able to find it. And it's like, if you could, and I didn't want to talk about this on the podcast today because now you're going to bring us down, Beth.
Sorry.
But if you could live your life in a way that someone felt the way she felt and wrote what she wrote, then you're doing it right. Yeah. It was really nice, and Dot Marie Jones is literally the nicest person in the world, and she plays Coach Beast.
Yeah.
And so she comes across like she's a super angry person, but she's the nicest person in the world. Did you find it? Okay, so I have it. Jen Bisgrove has handed it to me, and Dot Marie Jones wrote, "I have no words. My heart is broken. Corey was not only a hell of a friend, he was one amazing man that I will hold close to my heart forever. I'm blessed to have worked with him and love him so much. My heart and his family and our whole Glee family. I love you all." So I thought that was... just if you could have there are books, self-help books that say, write your own eulogy and then live your life that way. Mm-hmm. Because when you hear, and not to get all sad, but I think that's actually a great way to go, because it's what do you want people to say about you when you're gone, when there's nothing you can do about it? And I think that's a really good way to go. Yeah. Way to bring us down, Beth.
Yeah,
but you know what we're going to do now?
What?
We're going to turn it right around. We're going to save the podcast. Mm-hmm. We're going to turn it right around and a little bit later, the Beth Story Ever Told, which I'm super excited about.
I'm super excited about it, too.
Cursing.
Yeah.
Anger.
Yeah.
She does not eat meat in it. But first, let's get Jorge Lopez, who won $50,000 and more on Let's Make a Deal on the line. Jorge, welcome to the Random Show. How are you?
Thank you. I'm good. How are you, yourself?
Well, we're good. I mean, we're not like $50,000 London, south of France good, but we're good.
No, we're definitely not that. I'm not that good.
I guess I was just very lucky.
All right, so walk me through you coming on to Let's Make a Deal. Did you have any idea that we were doing the super deal on that episode?
I had no idea. I actually had absolutely no idea. It was actually such a last-minute thing. I wasn't going to go, and then literally hours before the night before, because I live in San Diego, I called up my friend in L.A., and I said, do you want to go? She's like, let's go. So I threw a costume together, like just literally threw it together within a few minutes.
What was your costume, Jorge?
I was a nerd.
But what was your costume? Wait, I'm looking at your picture. I'm not sure. Nerd. What? You've got a big poofy yellow tie.
Hey, it was actually. I'm a dress designer, so I actually ripped that bow off a dress that I had made. Literally ripped it off and attached it to my shirt with a safety pin. Ran and grabbed some cheap glasses and sunglasses and poked the glasses out of them, threw it together like literally within 15 minutes, and drove up to LA the night before.
You're a dress designer? That's really cool.
Thank you.
Wow.
Yeah, so I know you do wedding dresses and bridesmaid dresses, and that was actually from a bridesmaid dress that I had left over from a fashion show.
But
and
not.
Said,
so it wasn't one. I just had that vision of that you ripped someone's bridesmaid dress apart.
No. It was a sample, luckily, and I was able to rip it off in a way where I can reattach it later. But
people always wonder what they can do with their old bridesmaid dresses they can never wear again. So
do they, Beth?
Yeah.
Do they always wonder that?
They do. I mean, especially like ugly bridesmaid dresses. You have to buy it. Like I'm sure yours wasn't ugly.
Jorge, I have a question because you're in this world, and I've always wondered this. I have a theory on ugly bridesmaid dresses. And that is that the bride purposely picks things that are ugly and unflattering so that they shine even brighter. Your thoughts?
You know what? You get every type of bride in this industry, and I'm not going to argue with you because I will probably say that about 50% of the time that is the case. But, when I usually do the whole wedding party and I make sure the bride outshines the bridesmaids no matter how good they look every time.
See, and that's why you're good at what you do. Okay, so, but I always, whenever I see like a putrid green bridesmaid's dress on someone, I'm always like, oh, somebody's insecure. Okay, so let's go back to, so you decide to come to the show, and
decided to come to the show.
What was the deal that you played that got you to the big deal?
Honestly, if I remember correctly, the first deal, I didn't, after I was part of a game that had 3 contestants, they took 3 of us and gave each of us the first contestant got to pick her prize, I got to pick my prize, and then the third one got left, the third prize that was left. I got a box, and I believe, if I remember correctly, it had a little over $3,000 in it.
Yeah, that sounds right.
And I mean, like I said, I went there to have a good time with a friend. I was happy I was going home with an extra $3,000 in my bank account, which, wasn't going to hurt. And after that, I didn't expect to go any farther, but I got very fortunate that the contestant who had won bigger prizes before me decided to keep their prizes, and then the luck of the draw I was the one that was up. So
yeah, because I think a couple people passed on going for the big deal, and that's how we ended up with you, and you'd only won $3,000, which is a low amount, but a couple people had held on. So then, you get picked for the big deal. You decide to give up the $3,000, which was that a no-brainer for you, or did you have to give it some thought?
I mean, you know what? I was the moment. It was such a good day. We had such a good time with the crowd that was there. Honestly, the whole audience that day was a good time, and I was just having a good time. And I'm like, you know what? Why not? These $3,000 weren't mine before this. If I leave without them, I leave the same way I thought I was going to leave anyway. I never thought I was going to be picked as a contestant. So I said, why not? I'm gambling something that somebody else gave me, so why not?
Yeah,
And
no,
that
and you know what was so
definitely
fun? You had such a positive. I mean, I remember you so clearly being so excited to be there, which is all we're really looking for. Everybody wants to know what the key to getting on Price is Right or the key to getting on Let's Make a Deal is. And it's like just being genuinely enthusiastic, genuinely caught up in the moment. And that was totally Jorge. Like, he was so fired up to be there.
That's so
Okay.
Like I said, I went to have a good time with my friend, and I was having a good time. The audience was amazing that day. We were all having a good time. So I was enjoying the day. Like, I was enjoying the day, and whether I would have been picked as a contestant or not, it just was a great, fun experience to be there with my friend in the audience and watch other people play the game. It's different when you watch it on TV than watching it live. It's a totally different experience. So that experience alone was amazing and fun.
That's
so
cool.
like,
You know
I
what?
win something else.
So you would
Right.
recommend going and sitting in the audience. I mean, I always
That's a
say
nice little plug.
Price and Deal are some of the most fun shows to see taped, whether you're on. I mean, obviously, if you're on them, it's more fun. And if you win $50,000, it's even more fun. But they really
Yeah,
are fun.
They're a good time. You know,
tapings.
Wayne Brady makes it so much fun, and it's a great time. You know, I don't know if it was just us that day, but the audience, like I said, we all had a great time. We were dancing and laughing and, you know, jumping up and down. So it just was a great time for me. So
I mean, you have to have fun at Deal because you're in a costume. Because if you're taking yourself seriously and you're dressed like, say, with a bridesmaid dress,
Go on.
yeah, pinned to your, you've got to be a little bit loose and fun. Okay, so then you get to the big deal. Were you nervous during that commercial break? I always wonder what goes through people's minds right before they're about to choose a door.
Once after the big deal, not really, like I said, because it was $3,000 that weren't mine. That's just kind of the way I saw it. During the first commercial break, I really wasn't. Like, it was just, hey, why not? You know, because at the end of the day, with the big deal, you win some.
Right.
There's 3 prizes, so I'm like, I knew there was no zonk in the big deal. So I'm just like, hey, either way, I'm going home with something.
Oh, yeah.
So
Okay, so what door did you pick?
if I remember correctly, I picked door 2 because my mother's birthday is August 2nd. So
See, I
remember
always like
picking
it when
2.
people have a reason that they pick the door because it is so arbitrary. It's frustratingly arbitrary that you like it when somebody at least has a meaning.
Yeah.
Like, and
Well, the thing is-
we always get excited when we hear someone go, it's my 3rd wedding anniversary, or it's our 1st wedding anniversary, or I have 3 kids or 2 kids, or whatever. Because then you almost know for sure that they're gonna go for the door, and then we get excited, especially if the big deal is there. So
you know what, I was so hyped by the audience, and it's like, but everybody was screaming different numbers. I just like, I was like, it's a surreal experience, and it's like everybody screaming 1, 2, 3, and I'm just like, and then that's when I just thought, my mom's birthday is the 2nd. Let's go with door 2.
So
and
that's what I don't
went with
understand
door
about
2.
people. So you hadn't figured that out during the commercial break. You made the decision while you were standing there with Wayne with 5 cameras pointed at you, right?
Yeah, pretty much. You know what? It seems like, the commercial break is like a few minutes, but it goes by a second. Like, I'm being told I'm going to pick a door, and it's like I start walking up there, and there's these lights and cameras, and it's just, the whole day seemed like it went by so fast that a lot of it sometimes is a blur. Like, when, I've talked about my experience, sometimes I have to sit there and really think hard because it was such a good time, and you have an adrenaline running through your body that you blur certain things out and forget. But
you're almost, like I think people almost go into shock.
Yeah.
You do. You totally do.
I feel like I totally would try to prep and see what stage crew's spending more time behind what door, and
well, you can't tell because the doors are closed. Like, we're really good at not tipping.
It's like,
and so
weird.
we don't give you anything in front of the doors during the commercial break. The stage clears, people walk off because we don't want anything to give it away. I mean, it's a game, and so you want people to know. But Jorge, everyone, it seems like, gets up there, and Wayne goes, well, door 1, door 2, door 3, and then it's like they're thinking about it for the first time, and I'm always like, what were you doing during the 3 minutes?
I know,
but I'm sure it's surreal, and it flies by.
Yeah.
And it makes for good TV. We love it, but it's funny.
It totally just flies by. You really do not know what to expect.
Okay, so then you pick door number 2, and you won a trip to London and a trip to the south of France.
Correct.
So cool.
And let's see, was that it?
And I mean, yeah, that was the prize, which was I love traveling. I travel as much as I possibly can. So for me, that was a huge deal. Something that I've always wanted to do.
Two amazing places and two places that are ridiculously expensive to get to. So those trips were worth $23,515.
Wow.
And by the way, I just got back from Europe, and it is so freaking expensive just to get there and stay.
You're not kidding.
It's insane. So then Wayne says, hey, now because you've won the big deal, you have the opportunity to go for the super deal. And for those listening who don't know the super deal, you don't really give up the big deal. There's 3 envelopes. One of them has $50,000 in it, and the other 2 have $1,000 and $2,000. So you're going to get money, but if you pick the $50,000 envelope, then you also get the big deal. If you pick the $1,000 or the $2,000, you just get that, and you've lost your big deal.
Big deal. Ugh.
Ugh. It's brutal.
I just got chills.
Who came up with that? Did you come up with that?
No, that's Monty.
Is that a Monty thing?
Yeah, Monty.
God.
Why? Because it sounds mean.
You know what?
Yeah.
Did you hear Jorge, did you hear that? Did you hear the disdain in her voice?
Did you come up with that horrible thing?
So, Jorge, did you just say you got chills when I described it that way?
Yeah, because you know what? It's funny because, Wayne just said that. They said it at the beginning of the show, and then he tells me this as I'm up there, and honestly, it didn't register. Everything was so surreal. Honestly, I don't even remember. I remember the first door opening when they opened door 1. When I picked door 2, they opened door 1, and I think, if I remember correctly, it was like a dining room set.
Oh, lovely.
As soon as door 3 opened, I honestly don't remember what it was. I just remember that it wasn't worth $23,000, and I flipped. And
yeah,
after
and
that,
basically
there's
all
a big
hell.
chunk.
There's
a big chunk that just went blank in my head. So when he told me, like, honestly, if you ask me now about if I would have done it, I probably wouldn't have. But
dear.
at the time, it was like I was in the moment. I don't know what my brain was half working, and I was in the moment. I was having a good time. I'm like, sure, why not? Let's just go for it. Let's go big. And
actually, you yelled. Yeah, Jorge is coming across very quiet, or not quiet, but not. He was like, "I'm going for it!" Like he was going crazy the whole time. It was so fun. Everyone was going crazy for him, cheering for him.
Why did you decide to go for it?
I honestly can't tell you. I mean, I thought about it afterwards. I still think about it sometimes because I'm not really a gambler. I'm not really a risk taker. In that aspect, if I do take a risk, it's usually calculated and I think about it.
Yeah.
So for me, it was really out of my character. But like I said, you're in the moment. There was such a good audience. Everybody's cheering. The cameras are there. Lights are there. You're having a good time. You're just like, hey, why not? I came here to have a good time. I'm having a good time. I have this opportunity. Why not, live in the moment and seize it? And like I said, I really did.
Sounds like a
I was loud and I was just having a good time. And, watching it back on TV was a little awkward for myself because I guess I said it's out of my character, but I had such a good time. And as I said, I'm just like, you know what? I came with nothing. The worst case scenario, I leave with $1,000.
Yeah,
so,
but what's so funny is I can see in people on the show, whether it's in a normal deal or the big deal. We don't do the super deal that much. It's a stunt for us. You see people making completely irrational decisions, and that's why I think Wayne is so good at going, everyone quiet for a second. Let's pump the brakes here for a second and just say, Jorge, you have $23,515 worth of prizes. Are you sure you want to get? And even then, I'm not sure that you can come down off the high.
It kind of sobers you.
You don't.
For a second.
But it definitely is
you don't
something
come
that
up the high
Wayne's good
for a
at.
few days.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and like I said, Wayne did do it, and like I said, afterwards I was able to process everything that night, the next day, but it's just in the moment, no matter what's going on, no matter how, even if the whole world stops, you still are on this high from the fact that you're on live TV in a costume, winning a huge prize, and you have an opportunity to win even a bigger prize.
And I think that's really nice and responsible that Wayne does that.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I don't think that he wants to have guilt of someone making some
none of us
crazy
do.
decision.
We're all that. The interesting thing about that show, and I think people have different theories, and this goes for Price too. We are all wanting everyone to have a great time, have a very fair experience, know what they're getting into. We're sticklers for making sure that the rules were explained right because you want everyone to have their best shot. and sometimes people win and sometimes people lose. That's game shows. But you always want people to know in some way what they're getting into.
Yeah.
And that is where, and by the way, Drew is equally as good. He will literally stop the show and go, okay, I don't feel like you're understanding what's happening.
Right.
You are doing this, and I want you to know that if you say that, then this is the da-da-da. Now, I can't tell you whether you're right or wrong. And there's a thin line there, too, because on Deal, if he goes, are you sure you want to go do it? And he asks you 4 times, then it seems like he's talking you out of it.
Yep.
And that's bogus, too, because then you wouldn't have ended up with $50,000.
Yep.
So you have to – it's a very thin line that they're treading and that we as production are treading, going, okay, don't ask again, because now it seems like, especially
just
on
clarify,
but don't question, because if you're really questioning the decision, then it makes it seem like you know something they don't. And that's not good, and it talks people out of them. It's scary.
I feel like it's just as exciting for people behind the scenes as the people who are about to win or lose, because, like, we know the answers. You know the answers, and it's so, like, I feel like it's just as crazy.
You never get tired of watching people win.
Yeah.
You never get tired of someone bucking the audience and going, you know what, I'm going to go for it, and walking away with $10,000 or a new car or whatever it is. You never get sick of it. And in Jorge's case, we wanted people to win the Super Deal. We didn't put it up just to say we did it. We wanted people to do it. And it's hard to get a win because, A, it means someone has to get the big deal.
Right.
B, it means they have to give up the big deal.
Right.
And then C, they have to pick the super deal. So there's a lot of impediments in the way, and it's a ton of money, and that's why it's set up that way. But we were dying for Jorge to win. And do you remember? I don't remember which we have them colored, the envelopes. What color was the envelope you picked?
I picked blue because it's my favorite color.
Oh, my God.
Just that simple.
So funny.
But like I said, I thought about it, and I'm like seeing there was red, green, and blue, if I remember. And I'm just like, blue, I guess. And I blurted it out, and I'm like, yeah, I guess. I wear a lot of blue. It's my favorite color. Why not?
God, all your little reasons really worked for you.
Yep. It's
you know what? I got very, very lucky that day.
Yeah.
It's all the right things happen, which is why he knew the answers, and basically, Jorge Lopez is our version. No, I guess not. But you know what I mean? It's that same thing where you have someone that like has the right things happen to them, which is why then it happens right for them on the show. So he picks up the envelope. Do you remember that moment at all, like right before he revealed the amount of money?
You know what? I remember it. That's the only part that actually felt like forever, because I remember he picked up the envelope and he looked at it, and then he showed it to the audience and the cameras. And then I saw it. So I was like...
That's right. Yeah.
It just took a moment, and the audience didn't give a reaction. I thought that was going to give it away for me. And they were just all speechless. And I'm like, I wasn't sure if that was a good thing or a bad thing.
Yeah, there was a moment. There was a moment of suspended time when he opened it. And we had a camera on it, and the audience can see it. And Jorge hasn't seen it yet. And
the audience is quiet.
There's a full 1/1000th. Where nothing happened.
They were literally speechless.
Stunned.
And I'm thinking about,
I would have taken that as a bad thing.
Yeah.
Oh my Lord.
This audience was loud the entire show. It was like a huge party the whole time. And for the first time in the whole process of filming, it was quiet. I literally think you could have heard a pin drop. And it just was. It was surreal, and like I said, it felt like it took forever. But when
we had to draw it out, Jorge, because we do a money drop, and so we needed to make sure that
honestly,
the rig was working.
I think when I realized it, I don't even think I remember looking at the envelope. I think I remember the money dropping.
Money dropping on you,
and
yeah.
that's when I realized I actually won.
What's that feeling like when money is like being showered on you? That's like my dream. I want to be Scrooge McDuck and like dive in my gold coins.
It's undescribable. You really can't describe what goes through your head. Like I said, I honestly, there's so many parts that are completely blank that I just don't remember.
We are on with Jorge Lopez, who is one of 2 Super Deal winners in the history of Let's Make a Deal in the new version. He won $50,000, a trip to London, a trip to south of France. So really quick, we're running out of time. Jorge, have you taken either trip?
I took both already. I took my mom to London, treated her to an amazing trip in London, and I went to France with my sister a few months later.
Oh my God.
Like you said, London is very expensive, so that $50,000, actually all of Europe is very expensive. So that $50,000 came in handy, and I did quite a bit of shopping in Paris, because from the south of France, since I was already there, we took a train to Paris and got some shopping in. And like I said, when in Paris, what better to do than to shop?
And what are you gonna do with the rest of the money? Because I'm hoping that you didn't blow $50,000 in Paris on shopping.
Oh no, not quite. I put a nice dent in it, but not quite. A lot of it's sitting there still in savings. I was able to pay some bills and take care of some personal expenses, but it's sitting there collecting some interest for a little while.
That's
Cool.
great, and maybe
That's
that'll help you
amazing.
with your business, with the dress designing business.
Thank you. Yeah, it definitely has. It's definitely made things a lot easier. I had started my business a few years ago, and I've been very blessed that it's gone well. But it's always nice to have a little cushion.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Jorge,
Cool.
congratulations. Thank you so much for being on the Random Show with us. And what a moment. I mean,
Amazing.
Listen, we've done 700 deals, and I remember that moment so clearly. It was so exciting. And you're right, the audience went crazy and everything. So very happy for you, man. Congratulations.
I really appreciate it.
Thanks, Jorge.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye now.
Wow. Can you imagine?
That's really
That is fantastic. $50,000, Beth. What would you do with $50,000?
Oh, God,
Heck,
I
you'd
don't
quit
even
your
know.
job.
I know. Oh. I thought it was so funny how he just kept describing like how he couldn't remember and he just was having such a good time. And I mean, it was so funny. Like it was a very good advertisement for what a good time you had.
It is, no, and that show really is very fun to go to. I mean, it's people pay a lot of money to see Wayne, Jonathan, and Kat Gray do improv, and I recommend whatever the price of admission that is to pay it. And you get a free show, so you get a free improv show, and they're goofing around during the breaks and stuff like that.
Always.
And none of it's airable, but they they have a lot of fun, and it really is a lot of fun for the audience and for us. I mean, the whole experience it's really a fun show.
It's amazing.
The actual tapings, the other stuff is a lot of work,
Right,
but
right,
the
right.
actual tapings are a lot of fun. Well, you know what? It's something. It's now time,
Oh.
producer Jen Bisgrove, for our new segment. The Beth Story Ever Told. Ever told. Ever told.
Yeah,
Ever
I'm
told.
so excited.
Beth, tell us.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So this happened to me a couple weeks ago, and it was crazy that it happened to me, knowing that I have like slightly a little bit of experience in non-scripted television, but whatever. So I was doing my daily walk to Starbucks with a friend, and I was walking down the street.
Are you you're one of those people who at like 11 o'clock is not working? They're walking to Starbucks. But I always wonder what they do for a living.
9:30 person.
Okay, that's not bad.
I go when like the professionals go. I
Okay.
kind of like try to blend in, and then I don't go
And
to
then-
work.
And then you're.
People think I go to work there. The baristas always say, "Oh, Beth, are you going to work today?" And I'm like, "Yep.
Yes, I am.
Yes, I
Not
at Beth Enterprises. It's a
Beth Incorporated.
good day to be employed by myself." And so
It's the greatest love of all, and it's happening inside of you, Beth. Don't worry.
So I was walking down the street, and there was this woman, this girl. She seemed like about, I don't know, 26 to 28, and she was walking down the street with this stroller, a baby carriage, but it was like a huge one. It wasn't just like a little. It was like one of those monstrosities that a baby lives in. And
Well, they don't actually live in them. They just
well,
they just
it's like
travel.
so big that it could
Please
be.
tell me you don't babysit children.
I do babysit children.
You know they don't live in the stroller, though, right?
No,
Okay.
I babysit like bigger children.
Oh, God.
Okay. Anyway, whatever. We play sports. Okay. So they're walking down the street.
Nope. No, you
and
don't.
You can tell she's having like a lot of trouble with this carriage. Like it's almost too big for her. The sidewalk's kind of like jilted, and like she's just like, ugh. So subconsciously, like we just go over into the grass part and let her have the whole entire.
Oh, you're with your
sidewalk.
friend still. Okay.
Oh yeah, we're like walking to Starbucks, and she's walking the other way
Got it,
on the
okay.
sidewalk. And we just subconsciously go into the grass part, let her have the whole entire sidewalk. As soon as I pass her, like I'm coming in contact with her, She runs the baby carriage into my feet, into my legs, and it falls over. Well, I freak out because I think a baby is about to fall in the street. And I'm like, oh my God. And I cried. I grabbed the carriage because I think this baby's about to fall out. And I grab it, and I'm like I'm trying to.
You have to understand that Beth is not staying near the mic right now because she's acting it out.
So I was trying to, get it back up because it had totally fallen over, and her hands were still on. And she was like, oh my God. And I was like, oh my God. And so I was trying to lift it up, and I remember thinking, this is really hard to lift up. I wasn't thinking at all that she was sabotaging it.
This is one big chunky
like,
baby.
This
is the Maury Povich, my baby's super fat episode.
The biggest baby carriage ever, because I'm like having trouble lifting it up, and I kind of thinking that she's so out of her mind that she's almost fighting against me to lift the baby carriage up. Okay. Mind you, my friend's just standing there, but that's fine. Anyway, so I lift it up.
She doesn't move.
I lift it up.
Is she an actress, your friend?
No. And so I lift it up, and all of a sudden she is like, what are you doing running into my baby carriage? And I was like, oh, no. I moved over. You ran the baby carriage into me. Why the hell would I run my baby carriage into you? And I was like, well, maybe you didn't mean to. I'm just saying, like, you did. And I mean, I want to help you.
Is the baby carriage still on the ground at this point?
No, now it's up, and she is in my face.
Have you seen a baby yet?
I have not seen a baby yet, but I'm starting to look because I want to know if the baby's. But she's also really in my face. So she was just like, well, you should have seen me coming. You should have seen me coming. And I was like, what are you talking about? Now I'm starting to get a little.
Now it's on because Beth's not going to be pushed around anymore.
Yeah, that's what I said today. So she starts to say, well, what are you doing? You should have gotten out of my way. And I said, we moved to the grass. And she goes, you should have crossed the street. You should have seen me coming and have such a bad time with my baby carriage. And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Oh, there it is.
I was like, what are you talking about? I was like, are you fucking crazy?
Oh, no, you didn't.
I did. I was like, are you fucking crazy? I was like, you want me to cross the street because you can't handle your own baby carriage?
Damn.
What the hell are you talking to me? She was like, you almost killed my baby. And I was like, you're crazy. You are fucking crazy.
Another expletive.
I am like, now.
Beth, this is a family show.
We are in each other's face. I think she's going to hit me. Like, in my head, I'm like, what am I going to do if she hits me? Like, what will I do? And then now there's a couple behind us who are also trying to do like a walk to Starbucks, and the girl's like, did you see what this girl did to me? She almost hurt my baby, like blah blah blah. And they're like, oh my God.
Wait, what is okay, can I just push pause real quick? What is your friend doing at this point?
He's not doing anything. He's taking it in. He's like, I asked him later, like, what are you doing?
Yeah, thanks, buddy.
So this is what happened finally. So all of a sudden my friend grabs me and goes, Beth, it's fake. She can't be real. And I just was immediately like brought me out of it. Like, and I looked around, and about 50 feet away behind a black SUV was a giant camera. And
that's why it's the Beth Story Ever Told.
And I look at the camera, and I'm like, oh my God. And I start walking away. And now she's like, what's your name? Don't walk away from me. And by the time I have now looked at the baby, it is plastic. And I said,
because you killed it.
Right. And I said, hun, I see the camera, and your baby's plastic.
Did you call her hun?
Yeah, I did. And so
no, you did.
So then I start to walk towards the camera. We walk by a bunch of bushes. There's 3 sound men in the bushes. They all start laughing. I'm like, yeah, thanks, guys. That was real nice. They're like, huh. And like right on cue, because I've been a part of nothing this bad, but little shoots that we used to do where like hidden camera stuff, everyone has to have a release. I'm like waiting for someone to
jump out and say you have to sign a release. Because for people that don't know, when you cannot. Well, first of all, that I believe what they just did is against the law because it's hidden.
Really?
No, because I believe. Well, I know this is that California is a third-party state. You cannot do hidden camera. So if the camera was hidden, they're against the law, which is why everything you see that's hidden camera is like in Nevada or something like that. So you are that was, I believe, illegal if the cameras were indeed hidden.
Yes. Yeah, well, no.
Or
so
because they would have to have signs up telling you that you were in a taping area and a whole thing. So there was nothing.
No.
Then even if you do say know that there's signs up, you still have to sign something to have your likeness put on television.
Right, of course.
Which is, if you really take a step back and you imagine all of the things, humiliating, horrific things that people do on TV, that get onto TV, the fact that that means someone actually signed their name.
Yeah,
and was like,
and that'd
no,
be okay.
I'm cool with it. I look like a jackass. Let me sign.
I know. So anyway, right on cue, this little girl comes out and she goes, hi. And immediately I was like, no. And she was like, oh, please. It was really funny. And I was like, absolutely not. And she was like, is there anything I can do to change your mind? And I was like, absolutely not. Because I'm telling you, I thought I was going to get beaten. Like, so my heart rate was like super high. Like, I like literally thought I was going to. I've never sworn at anyone like that.
How
ever.
crazy was your hair at that time?
It was really crazy. I had like just woken up. Like it was very.
Did they damage your shin at all when they ran the stroller into you?
No, they didn't. But she did. I mean, and then to be honest, I then just felt incredibly sad. Like I felt sad that these people were having a job that day that ruined someone's day. Because it did take me a couple hours to get over, to be honest, because I've never sworn at anyone like that before in my life.
Yeah, it's traumatic.
Yeah, it was traumatic. So it made me sad that, like, these people are getting a day rate. This little PA had to come up to me and be like, will you sign this? Like, you incredibly angry person?
Yeah.
You know, like,
And
no.
they put the nicest, like, most demure person.
They did. She was, like, cute and little and, like, kind of nervous. And
I'm making $75 today. Would you please sign?
Yeah, like, she just probably just moved.
And did they just let you walk off after that? That was the only person that talked to you?
Yeah. I mean, it was, and then I felt bad for the actress because I felt like, wow, she's an out of work actress who got $100 today to like literally piss people off. And it made me feel sad for like everyone involved. I was sad for myself. I was sad for them. And then
you don't give them any personal accountability for doing it?
You know what? That's what my mom was like. My mom was like, Beth, they have free will.
Yeah.
Like, they chose to
personal
do this with their
responsibility.
day-to-day.
Pass it on, Beth.
Like, you would never do that. Like, you would, you know, and I was...
You would never eat meat.
Mike, you
What?
don't understand the pressures of that situation. So, you know, it was just... But wait, I did go back and we asked for this show. And it's called a show called Jerks with Cameras, which I was like, well, at least it's
appropriately named.
Titled. Yeah. So... Anyway, that was my story, and I just couldn't believe. I was shocked though that this had happened
Can I be
in such
honest?
a residential area in LA.
Yeah.
Like,
well, first of all, it's against the law. But so we have to look up jerks with cameras.
Jerks with cameras.
But the next thing is, like, that's like what you just. It's funny because it happened to you because we know you and we think that's funny.
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't really sound that funny.
No. Well, there was a child, quote unquote, child involved.
No, but even like it's just not that.
Well, I'm telling you, I was scared at first because I thought this baby was about to roll in
Sure.
the street, you
Sure.
know? But yeah, it's not very funny. It's like you're watching people get in kind of a low-class fight.
Right, but like even the setup's not that clever. I mean, that's like hidden camera from the 80s.
Well, it was just very obvious that like either this girl was on drugs or she was like driving a carriage
I love
drunk.
your friend who never said anything and was like, Beth, it's not real. Shut it down.
Shut it down. I asked him, I was like, so I just need to know, like, what were you thinking during this process?
Would he have let you get beat
I said,
down?
if she had hit me, like, would you have helped me?
He would have helped you up.
Yes.
After
And
she
he
was
like,
done.
honestly,
After her knuckles were sore from beating your skull, she would have been like, all right, let me help you up.
But he was very clear. He was like, honestly, he was like, she wasn't even paying attention to me. Like, it was all on you. So
Right.
I was really able to, like, figure out that the baby was fake, figure out that she was acting, you know, blah, 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 blah.
Right.
Whereas you were really in it. And he was like, and I just didn't smell real danger, like, right away. And so, I don't know.
And that's the Beth Story Ever Told.
Yes, it is.
I love it.
Yeah.
All right, so now I'm going to respond to a tweet. My
yeah.
Twitter handle at
We've been tweeting recently.
we have.
Yeah.
We are very different.
I know we are.
If you read our tweets, what's your Twiddle hand?
I think
Twiddle
it's
Twiddle
my
handle.
Twiddle hand. I think it's just B Triffin. That's my name.
Way to promote
Yeah.
at B Triffin, and
At
mine
B.
is
Triffin.
M Rich TV, which is my name
Right.
plus TV.
Yeah, right. Well,
See what
we're
I did
really
there?
creative.
I thought that was pretty clever. Although my favorite is that one of the CBS execs said to me, "Oh yeah, we should tweet you at Mr. Rich TV," and I was like,
Oh no!
I was like,
please
no,
don't do
that's
that.
not what it says at all. That's not what it says at all.
No, that's That should not be a Twitter name you should have.
No. Well, and then I thought, oh God, do other people think that's what it is? Because it's my name.
No,
it's
no,
not.
I don't think
it's not,
anyone
right?
thinks that.
It's
No,
it's just her.
Calm down.
All right.
All
Speaking of
right.
calming down, someone who has an amazing Twitter account. You have to talk right into the mic. The co-executive producer of The Price is Right, Evelyn Warfel, is
Hi,
here.
Evelyn.
Hello.
Thanks for stopping by.
Thanks for having me.
Evelyn's been giving me crap for a long time about
Not being
having
on
her
the
on the
podcast?
podcast. And I said that we needed to get it to a certain level, elevate it to her level before she could be on.
Oh, we're almost there.
I think we're getting there.
Okay,
I think
cool.
another couple weeks. So, but Evelyn's here because...
She's here anyway. So.
Yeah. Evelyn's here because, first of all, we're going to promote her Twitter handle.
This is a pity invite, I feel like.
No, it's not actually. It came to me when we were laying out the show today. So, what is your Twitter handle? Because I know you want to get people to tweet you. And see, I have I think I have 700 followers,
Me
which is
too.
pathetic.
God
And
bless.
but Evelyn has 103, 107.
I have 110
Whoa!
as of yesterday.
My favorite is that you tweeted something and then immediately someone dropped you.
I tweeted and immediately went from 110 to 109, but I gained back a Twitter follower.
What did
the
you
next
tweet
day.
that made you lose a follower?
Something about missing Let's Make a Deal.
Oh.
Yeah.
They were like, F that show.
Yeah.
Mike tweeted me about it, and I responded, and then someone was
It's all about a
like,
dialogue. We're community, Beth.
Yes, right.
So what's
I
your...
tweeted Beth once, and she didn't respond.
Oh, I used to be really bad at Twitter.
It was like
just
a couple
now
weeks
getting
ago.
Oh, really? Okay. I'm getting better
Fantastic.
every week. I'll look back.
What
at
is
my
your?
history.
What's yours? At Sweet Dreams, right?
At Sweet Dreams Media.
Oh, geez, is that long enough for you?
But it's dreams without the E and the A, because there wasn't space.
So what?
Sweet Drums.
DRMS
Yeah.
Media?
Yeah.
Because that's your production company.
That's my
name.
production company.
Oh, I like that name.
But I'm actually actively looking for a
Oh,
new
that's
Twitter
right.
handle.
Oh.
So
What was?
I'm
There were
open
some
to-
really funny ones.
God,
Can't
what
remember
were
them.
they?
Yeah, we were trying to do in the office. This is while we should be producing the game show. We're trying to figure out what Evelyn's Twitter handle will be. So
Chris would know them.
Yes, Chris, who does our opening announce. That's it. Those are the dulcet tones of Chris Tilley on the that does the opening. So somebody tweeted me the other day, and I read them all. I read every tweet, and I take them very seriously.
Oh man, Mike, what a man.
Yeah, I'm deep,
I know you are.
really deep.
Yep.
I would
Do you
not.
get a lot of tweets?
So
I
deep
do.
that you don't like my artistic tweets.
Well, she took a picture of dead flower petals on the side of the street, and she's
It's
like,
beautiful.
"It was
Oh, I
not
missed
beautiful.
that.
No, it was trash." And so,
I think I stopped following you.
yeah, did you drop her when she didn't respond?
Evelyn.
So, what did you say? You're
Don't
like
cross Evelyn on Twitter.
another beautiful walk with.
Starbucks.
And
Well,
then-
you know about my walks to Starbucks.
Yeah,
They're
and
either
then-
great or horrible.
And then it was hashtagged the person who takes pictures of this or something like
yeah.
this.
Because I
Which-
was kind of making fun of myself.
Yeah, which is just. But when you do a hashtag with that many words in it, it just looks like
It's annoying.
it just looks like alphabet because you can't really tell what it is because there's no spaces.
Whatever, Mike.
But so she sends this picture out, and I was like, "We're so different." I just see a bunch of. I just wish someone would come clean that up.
That really illustrates the main differences between me and Mike.
I like things tidy.
Right.
Beth's hair is a mess.
Oh,
So,
it looks lovely.
so the tweet was, it was right after the 4th of July episode, which is where we had a military and their family member on, and it was said, sadly, too many couple specials on The Price is Right. And then I was bringing that up before we went on, or no, we were on, and Beth goes, I agree. There's too many.
Really?
So there's 9 now that we do. And, it's interesting. I remember when we did the first one, it was for Valentine's Day, and it was like going to the moon
Yeah.
for The Price is Right because we had never had more than one contestant on the stage. And it's what opened things up to. I guess you could call the Celebrity Charity Week one kind of that,
Yeah.
but
Right.
not really. I mean, it shoots the same. It represents the same issues trying to shoot it, but not really. So maybe we're at an even 10. But I was just wanting to see what because my take on it is I like the difference, a change up. We do 190 episodes. That means 180 are similar to what we do, and they're great. And I always like to see the interaction of the people.
Right.
And that's, to be honest, my favorite one was the one we did this year was Grandparents' Day because of the interaction between.
I thought it was siblings.
I ended up liking siblings, even though I was very anti. See,
Why were you anti-siblings? Because you're just like
because
lame.
it felt like a special for a special sake.
Yeah.
And we did
Yeah.
twins last year, which I was a little thin on as well.
You're like,
And then, I was like, boy, and are we doing this just for the... You never want to do it for the sake of doing it. You want to do it because you think it's going to be fun and exciting and great television. And I will say that I said it after the show, that the sibling show was actually really good.
Oh, cool.
Because
What he did say was it was one of our best shows this season.
I did say, okay, so she remembers stuff better than I. But I cop to it. Whenever I'm wrong, I'm like the most excited person to point out that I'm wrong. I like walking. I was like, all right, I liked it. But it was really good contestants.
Evan's probably the most excited that you're wrong.
Yeah, that could be. But it was actually some of the smartest contestants we've had on. They reasoned through the game with each other. Mm-hmm. They beat the game a little bit together. Like, it was really good.
I think that's the brilliance of having two people, is to see how the game changes and how they work together to figure it out. We often get a lot of contestants that are very excited to be there, which is exciting to watch. But watching people actually work through and try to figure out the game happens more when there's two people up there.
Well, because it slows things down a little bit.
Right.
And as a game nerd, I'm someone who really likes to see someone play the games and not just leave everything to chance and the audience.
Right.
There's some conglomeration of things that can go on there. And we just had Jorge Lopez on, who you'll remember him because you were on Deal, won the super deal, won $50,000.
Oh, yeah.
You remember him?
Yes.
He went crazy
Yes.
and the cash drop and everything. And literally you hear him talk, he remembers none of it.
Right.
There's nothing behind any of the decisions. It's like everybody was screaming, so I went for it.
Right.
He gave up $23,515
Yeah,
because people were like, "Hey!" Because there was a bunch of people in costumes screaming at him, and he thought it would be fun. Like
But he seemed like he was on like the biggest high ever.
Yeah.
Like when he talks about it.
He was
It
straight tripping.
Yeah. He was.
So I agree. I think it does calm people down because they have people, but I love to see the interaction, like the Grandparents' Day, to see how some people aren't as close with their grandparents, and so there's that great deal of respect. Then there's other people who are super close with them and can joke with them and be like, "Grandma, you don't know the price of that," or "Oh, I know she'll know the price of this." So I like that. So
And the Grandparents' Day was really the whole idea of doing that, is that every single person who comes on our show talks about how they watched with their grandparents.
every single person.
So why not celebrate that moment and the nostalgia of it by having them on together and seeing how they play? I mean,
No, it was really cute. I mean, it was really, really a fun. That's a really fun one. So let's go through the list.
okay.
Evelyn Werfel, and see what we think. Engaged couples. So
I love
actually really
engaged
like that
couples.
one.
because Evelyn is an engaged couple.
I am.
She's half of one.
I know.
I am. I will be forever engaged.
Right. No, we'll be talking about planning this wedding for the rest of it. No, you actually put a drop dead date on it. So you actually have to.
If we don't figure it out by the end of August, we're going to elope.
Oh wow! Oh, so you have like a date to figure it out.
Well,
by.
it's been 6 months, so I had to put a deadline.
Yeah, I imagine that would. Yeah.
When are you going to get married, Beth?
I have no idea.
I've got your boyfriend online too. Hang on.
On her way to Starbucks when she meets her.
Oh,
man.
Everything happens to me on my way to Starbucks.
Actually, that would be amazing. We pretend to do a jerks with cameras, and then Carrie jumps out of the bushes and says, "Will you marry me?" And you tell him no, because you're mad. No, because you're mad at the jerks with cameras, not because
cameras. Yeah. Oh, jerks with cameras.
Okay, so engaged couples we like.
We love that because this is setting up
wedding shower.
How you're going to work together and on your future.
Yeah, there is great interaction and fun prizes. The whole thing is themed with prizes and stuff like that. Will we be seeing another siblings?
Which we had at the amazing prize this year.
That was the coolest prize this year.
Destination wedding.
Oh, that's cool.
22 people.
$47,000.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
And we played cliffhangers.
I mean, that's
which are prizes we wouldn't get or be able to give away on a regular show. So it changes it up and makes it fresh.
Hey, what's our email address, Jen Bisco? randomshow@yahoo.com if you want to send us questions, or you can tweet me directly at mrichtv, and we will respond to your tweets because we like getting the interaction. Okay, so let me know what you think about the engaged couple. Siblings, will we be doing another sibling show?
Well,
I vote no. But my vote doesn't.
I'm trying to figure out how to switch it up. So you guys did the twins, then we switched it to siblings, and I've been trying to brainstorm what we could do. Triplets? I don't know. We probably only have a few people in the audience.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It was a really good show, but, It was just
We always want to make sure we're not doing specials for the sake of specials, but that they're good.
right.
And
that
also,
was really good. It was
that
one
was
of the
very
best
good.
ones.
No, absolutely. And it also, one of the things that needs to be is promotable, because the way we get promotion from CBS is by doing special shows. So if you want to get the commercial time, you have to have something for them to sell.
Right.
Because the problem with doing a game show is you can't sell that people won, because that gives it away. So let's say you have like the greatest, when Jorge won the Super Deal,
Right.
we couldn't promote it. We're just like, you should watch the Super Deal just in
Right.
case someone wins.
Yeah.
And then you have no. So it presents a problem. Okay, so maybe not on siblings unless we can come up with something great. Or you tweet us and tell us a great idea to do with siblings, because that was really, really fun.
Right.
Mother's Day, come on.
Yes, but I really want to do mother-in-laws. Don't you think that would
That's
be
funny?
Thank you. I think it would be funny watching the dynamic of someone playing
That'd
with their
be funny, 'cause
mother-in-law.
Sometimes it could be awkward.
It would be awkward,
Yeah.
which would be great. I think
Is that
it
what
would be
you're shooting for
great.
this show?
I'm not
Awkward?
sure.
I think it
it's
would
an
be a
interesting
great
idea.
dynamic.
It's the first
of
I'm hearing
how,
of it.
Nuh-uh, you shot me down. I've pitched it to him like
Oh,
10
have
times.
you?
I
You
don't
know that,
remember.
Beth. You know how that works.
I don't remember you ever saying mother-in-laws.
You're like,
I kind of
hate
do
it.
from a long
I
time
hate
ago.
it.
It's been
Yeah.
a while ago. Yeah, because I'm not sure that awkward is the show.
I don't know. I think it would have.
I'm getting
I
the
think
long
there'd be
stare
some.
down.
We'll discuss.
Yeah, no, it could be interesting.
All right.
But Mother's Day, then you would rule out Mother's Day instead of Mother's.
No, I would still. You have to do Mother's Day.
Okay.
It's sweet.
Father's Day we haven't normally done. We did this year, and it was good.
And you did it the year before.
Did
too.
we? Mm-hmm. I knew that.
It was good, but I feel.
You were not doing too well the last minute.
But come on, you know what? I had a really strong start to the show. We've been on for an hour.
All right.
So, listen, I get tired. Okay, so Father's Day, maybe.
I think Father's Day is okay.
Yeah.
But for some reason, I feel like that gets awkward sometimes. I don't
Yeah.
know why.
No, I agree.
Where moms are more free. And
Yeah, multiple men.
For whatever
having, like,
reason, and this is
outpouring
a
of
whole
emotion.
other debate that we should have another time on the random show. We'll bring Evelyn back.
Ooh.
The fathers are not, while they're loved, mothers are put on a pedestal, and deservedly so. And so I don't think you get as excited to see fathers win, which I don't
Right.
think is right as a father. But like Mother's Day feels like a bigger thing than Father's Day.
Right.
Again, that's probably appropriate given how much work mothers do in the mothering of the child and the raising of the child. But I think it's an interesting, like, it's not as cool to
not
be as
as-
excited
yeah.
about Father's Day.
It feels stiffer, that show.
Yeah.
Like it's very stoic and
Yeah. Well, guys in
Yeah.
general are not as excitable.
Right.
Unless you're Jorge and you won $50,000.
Right.
Yes.
Okay, Grandparents' Day we love. You're going to do, we'll do that
Yes,
again.
it's already on the calendar.
Oh, whoa. Well, that means it's happening
Yes.
for sure. Valentine's Day. Oh,
Valentine's Day, I've actually
Yeah.
struggled with because I feel like I
Interesting.
inherited that one. I feel like it's so similar to the engaged
I
couples.
agree.
I wonder if
And-
we could do an engaged couples Valentine's Day show.
I think
all
that'd
as
be
one.
better
Right.
because I think also people.
I like that
get-
we're producing the show on
Yeah.
on the podcast.
People get bitter about Valentine's Day too, and you're
Yeah.
sort of just like, oh great, you have a boyfriend. Whoop de doo.
What if you did a whole singles episode?
Well, we talked about that.
Yeah.
Do we do a whole everyone's single?
Great. Or is that downer? Is that a downer? But it's okay to be single, right?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I loved being single. I think it's great to be single. I feel like it would be
I've
a
got
downer
Jersey
on
on line
Valentine's.
3
I feel like it would be a downer on Valentine's Day, though.
to be
Yeah.
single.
For the people
To
who
be-
don't like
So maybe
being
you could
single.
combine the engaged
I
couples
think that
Valentine's
that is
Day.
a
Sure,
good
okay.
idea.
The kids show I think we'll do again because that was really good and that one
We are
rated
doing it
actually
again.
really well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're doing that again.
Yeah.
For sure.
Graduation. So this is when Jen Bisgrove always gets graduation and back to school mixed up.
Right.
Which
Well,
if
graduation
Jen
was the
li-
first we did this year. And the reason we did it is back to school is really about college students, and we
Mm-hmm.
wanted to start finding a way to celebrate high school students and have them on the show.
Got it.
So we did the teen drivers the year before,
Which was a car in every act.
which was a car
Is
in
that
every
what
act.
Oh, my Lord.
And then we switched it up with celebrating graduating high school this year.
Because in the kids show we only go up to 14.
Yeah,
Right.
13.
14 last year, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, so you wanted to get the people that were just going to... you know what? The thing I would say about the kids' graduation one, unless we do something like the car one, which was so
Right.
fun, which is people getting their driver's license, basically, and it was a partnership with someone who gave us driving school, and like it was all about safety for kids learning
Yeah.
how to drive, which I'm a huge advocate of because it's insane how bad everyone who drives is at driving. Like,
Yeah.
no one knows how to drive, and I love going to, like, driving schools and, like, doing stuff like that. And when you do that and you get onto a course and it's been slicked and you're trying to drive through cones and you try to skid stop a car at 40 miles an hour and you think you're Johnny Big Pants that can drive a car and you just go careening out of control, you realize that everyone is incredibly bad at driving.
Yeah.
I mean, it is.
It's scary.
It's scary. And then my wife drives my kids. And I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe that I'm letting this happen without like training because I'm not good at it either.
They don't teach any of us defensive driving.
No,
and that's what this was. The winner of the showcase, their whole school had they came to the school and did a whole thing on defensive driving.
Listen, there's a whole and by the way, in Europe, that is what they do, which is why they are 1,000 times better at driving.
Wow.
Even though driving in Europe is terrifying. Because we're not good at it. We're like, oh God. And they don't mind if their car gets scuffed.
Driving here is terrifying.
Driving here is terrifying because people are zoned out.
Yeah.
Not because the streets are all wide enough and all that. But in Europe, like the streets just straight aren't wide enough.
Oh, yeah, no.
Like,
everything's
to get your car through.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, but you should love it then. So graduation, maybe. And then the military.
Yeah, we'll do something with high school students, but we'd love ideas.
Oh, yeah.
Send your ideas.
At Enrich TV. And Sweet and Brooms Media. And then the 4th
Send me
of
new
July,
Twitter handle
military personnel with family. So that was one that came
this year
later. We only did that once.
Yeah, and we're going to do... we're going to do our normal military show, but on the 4th of July this year.
Oh, the Veterans Day show, that's when the
Veterans Day show will be veterans, and then on the 4th of July, we'll celebrate military families.
Committing to it on the Random Show podcast.
Yes.
Evelyn Warfel, co-executive producer of The Price is Right.
Big news. Big news up in here.
And then, so that's the run of it. So I think we eliminated a couple, because I do think we had... You don't ever want to get to where it feels stale or it's special for special sake. I think we all felt that with Valentine's and engaged couples.
Yep.
This week on Price is Right, we had the Teachers episode, which was a great episode that aired yesterday, the day before we taped the podcast. Tomorrow is The Bump, which is the biggest baby shower in the world.
Oh, yeah.
That's another one where it could be the couples.
Yeah, I think we've always kept it away from that because I just think it really, to be honest, the woman who's pregnant is...
It's her baby shower.
As the guy that stood next to the woman who's pregnant, I'm like, yeah, this is really all about her.
Guys don't like baby showers anyway.
No, it's not that. Guys are so useless in that it's in that process that it's frightening. And you feel like you're just a complete bump on a log.
Yeah.
And it feels like that's what would happen. Or if the guy was really excitable and makes it about him, then you're like, you're a jackass because your wife's pregnant. You put the guys into a bad situation.
Yeah.
So I think that would not be good. So and then we do the nurses, and then law enforcement Friday. That's one that Drew always gets a little bit interesting about. She's whispering, but her microphone is open. We're not doing law enforcement this year because that was one that we were all kind of teetering on. But we like the nurses one. We want to
take a break. I mean, we don't want to do the same thing every year. It gets stagnant.
And then Monday is Drew's 1,000th episode.
Oh, my Lord.
Isn't that cool?
That's crazy.
1,000.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Aww.
There you go. And that's the whole show. There you go. Cool. What an episode we have had of the Random Show. Evelyn, was it everything you thought it would be?
It was amazing. I hope I get invited back.
Yay!
We'll review the tape. And it'll depend on how many tweets we get. I want to be here
for some juicy topics.
I know. We should have had you in for the Jenny McCarthy, Elizabeth Hasselbeck on The View one. That was pretty good. Or the Lindsay Lohan one. But thank you, everyone, for listening. We learned a lot today. We learned that Jenny McCarthy is the new Elizabeth Hasselbeck. Yeah. We learned that Jorge Lopez was straight tripping.
Oh, my Lord.
And ended up winning $73,000. That was amazing. We premiered The Beth Story Ever Told.
Yes, that was so great.
So we know that Beth will swear if you dump your baby stroller on her.
Yes.
So that was fantastic. And then Evelyn Warfel, co-executive producer of The Price is Right, on with us, talking about couple specials and responding to tweets at Sweet Puma from Maria. I'm Mike Richards. That's Beth Griffin. See you next time. Thanks for listening.
Bye.